Hey YouTube, I know you guys are probably getting sick and tired of seeing this face and this outfit, but I'm doing quite a few videos today because today is my day off, so I'm going to film as many as I can. So today I'm going to talk to you about keratoconus and how it affects my reading. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times in videos, but I've never really talked about what keratoconus is. I'll leave a link down below to the keratoconus website as well as some WebMD WMD, WebMD links and information about keratoconus and how it's treated. So keratoconus is basically the cornea of every human being's eye is shaped like this, right? A soft C, and that's what lets the light in and lets your eyes and the lens be able to focus. It's what lets the light through, so your eyes can focus on the image that you're looking at. With keratoconus, the collagen that makes the cornea of your eye slowly thins out and your cornea begins to bulge over time. And as it bulges, it diffracts the light. So instead of coming straight in, it like reflects the light and you get halos and you get fractured images and you get multiple images. So I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Originals. Whenever they do, I'll put up a picture. Whenever they show magic is happening, they multiply the image and bring it back together. The multiple image is what I normally see. Until recently, I did not realize that Ian Smolderholders, whatever his name, the guy that plays Damon, I did not realize his eyes were blue. Okay? That's how bad my vision is. All I would see was his eye sockets and his face, but I couldn't see his eye color. And there's several ways in which keratoconus is treated. If you are not too far along, there's now an approved thing in the unit. It's not approved. They're trying to get it approved by the FDA, and it's called collagen cross-linking. It's where they're using an off-brand medication with lasers in the attempt to put collagen in your eye. There's two versions. There's one there they can take the cornea off and do it, and there's one with the cornea on and they do it. And the hope is to help build the collagen to keep it from continuing to deteriorate. If you're too far along, and if they can't, the only way they can do that is if they can still fit you with contacts. If you're too far along and your cornea, your keratoconus is called unstable, where there's no way to keep your prescription steady, then you're too far along to do cross-linking, because cross-linking will only work for so much. When your vision becomes so bad that they can't do cross-linking, your only other option is transplant. Now, corneal transplant is 1, expensive, 2, not always guaranteed to work, and 3, you're going to have a different vision, and you're also always going to be on medication for the rest of your life, because you need to take anti-rejection meds to keep your eyes from rejecting the medicine, from rejecting this new cornea. They're trying to, what do you call it, make their own corneas, like based on your own DNA. But that's, I think, a couple years into the future. But right now, they're able to do the cross-linking, and they're able to do corneal transplant from cadavers. What's working for me right now is I have not done the cross-linking because I have not needed to do it yet. We're watching my vision for the next 6 months. At the end of June, I go back to my doctor to see. What happens is, right now I use contacts. I use hard contacts. They're called scleral contacts, and I'll actually show it to you. So there's a whole team of equipment that goes with using my contacts. I'll show you the scleral contacts first so you can understand why I need the rest. So these are my backup contacts. These were my initial prescription, and then we fine-tuned it to get a better one. So these are my scleral contacts, which are put away for emergency purposes, like say I lose one or break one. So this is my scleral contact. Do you see how huge that is? And that goes over the cornea of your eye, and it's huge, so it doesn't bother it goes under your lid. So it doesn't bother your, I used to have issues with the tiny ones, especially during allergy season, like stuff would get under and make my eyes burn. Okay, so the tab I just used is what I use to pick up my scleral contacts, and it's also what you have to use to pull them out. There's a special name. I'll leave a link to the Amazon page down below. Then here are the other tools. This one, this one also has, it's the same tab, but it has a bigger suction cup and a hole in the bottom. And what happens is you put so the way this usually works is I'm on the table because you have to look down when you do it. So I have a mirror on the bottom. Nobody move. Okay. What happens is I take the contact out of the contact solution. Ooh. You put it in the cup like that, right? And you fill it with these tabs. This is saline solution with no preservatives. So this is most like your tears. So you fill it to the brim. Fill it to the brim till it's overflowing. You have to open your eyelids, and you have to be looking down, and then you pop it in. I'll link a video down below of how to actually do it. And then to take them out at night, you have to look directly at it, which is why there's a hole on the bottom, so the light can shine up through, so you know that you're looking directly down into it. So these are called air packs. These are also being used off-brand. These are for a breathing equipment, but they're being used as 3 fluid ounces of saline solution, non-preservative, and you use it to put the water in there so that your eye, so that the contact can rest on your eye. Because when you think about it throughout the day, when you blink, your eye has water and stuff in there, and it blinks and cleans. Without the water there, the contact would get so dry, and your eye itself would get so dry from just air between the contact and your cornea that it would be a problem for you to see. Another thing that's your best friend is the Blink and Clean. They have this one, and they have a short green one. Lens drops. You have to get the RGP lens cleaner. Not cleaner. Drops. Because the other one will fog them up. This is my cleaning solution. It's called Clear Care Triple Action Cleaning, and it comes with this. And once this is done, I have to throw this out. You can do the cup. You can also use this system, and this is the Boston Advanced Conditioning Solution. And what I do is I carry this with me so that, like, throughout the day, every couple of hours, like every 5 to 6 hours, you have to take them out, flush them out, and put more water in to make them nice and clean. Not this, more of the pink tab that I gave you, that I showed you. You flush your eyes, and you put fresh contact solution in there. But if you drop the contacts, you can't just pop them back in your eye, you have to wash it. So this is the only one I can use to wash it right away because I can rinse it off. The, the clear care, you have to soak it for 6 hours. So I carry this with me as an emergency in case like something happens and I have to take my contacts out or I have to wash them. So this is in my pocketbook. If I didn't carry a pocketbook before, I have to carry one now. But I always carry a pocketbook. So I have my little mirror because I need a mirror to have flat on the surface so I can look down. I carry tons of these tabs because if you have problems throughout the day, like your eyes are irritating, you're going to need these to clean them. I keep the Blinking Clear. I actually have 2 of those solutions because I keep one in my bag and one in my pocket. Then, because of allergy season, I have Visine. I use that before I put my contacts in, like at night. But if something happens throughout the day where it's really, really bothering me, I use it. I try not to use it when I'm at work, though. I carry one of these, and I carry paper towels, and I carry this, and of course I carry the tabs. They usually go in here, and I use the tabs to put my contacts in and to take them out. As I said, because they're so huge, you can't just pop them out. You have to actually remove them. And I carry quite a few of these. I carry like a good 20 or 30. I don't use that many, but you never know when something's going to happen and you have to have extras with you. So that's it as part of my contact care and what my contacts look like. Hopefully with the contacts, I'll be able to see better for longer. And I've noticed a vast improvement. I was laughing because I didn't realize how many of the girls that I work with had different colored eyes. Because like I said, all I saw was like the shadow of their eyes. I never saw their actual eye color. I can see better at night now. I can see during the day. I still have some haloing, but that's normal. And that's, you know, they're never going to get me to 20/20 vision. But they've gotten me so much further. Before I used to read, I used to have the Kindle blown all the way up. And I used to cry. Try not to cry now. I used to cry as my disease advanced. And I realized I would have to blow up the lettering and the wording more. Before I got my contacts, I used to like do this to see because that would because I was narrowing the amount of light that was coming in. It made my vision so much better. And also because, you know, that looks good every day. I used to get made fun of by friends and by strangers. I used to have to explain to people that I'm not glaring at you. I just can't see you. I wasn't able to drive. It narrowed the amount of things I was able to do. Like, going to the movies was a pain because I couldn't see everything that was happening. Reading, that's kind of the reason my reading slowed down, especially for my physical books. Ebooks I could read and breeze through because I could blow them up as big as I needed to. But whenever I realized that I had to go bigger than I was reading before, I used to cry. And then that made me depressed, so I didn't want to read. So that gave me a slump, and then I wanted to read, but I couldn't. Like, it made it such a hard thing in the process. Something that you should take for granted. I had problems at work because I couldn't really see the computers. Oh, it made life so hard. And to know that the prognosis is it's autoimmune. They have no idea why it starts. They estimate that it could be due to irritation to the eyes. It could be genetic. But the end result is always either surgery or blindness. And if you can't afford surgery, then it's definitely blindness. It's just, it's kind of heartbreaking to realize, like, if there are people, there is a doctor in my area, she is the premier doctor for this. Everyone sends the patients to her, which is why it took so long to get in to see her, because she is packed. She works for Yale, and the Yale Eye Group is phenomenal. I can't say enough words about them because they do a phenomenal job of helping everyone. I got my contacts at the beginning of the year, and it just made a massive difference in just my life, daily things. Like, the difference between having my contacts in and not having my contacts in, you know, seeing depth perception, learning the difference, things that I always took for granted, which were kind of lost to me as I started to slowly go blind. Now that I can see them again, it's just, amazing. So I love reading again. The fact that I can see to read makes me extremely happy. Because the first few weeks, the first week, the first few days after giving me my contacts, like, you have to build your amount of hours. And she told me after 4 hours I have to take them out. The first day I wore them for 8 hours because I didn't want to not see anymore. I didn't want to give up the fact that I could see. Like, it was, I know I was being disobedient, and I did pay for it. By the third day, my eyes were really hurting, and I couldn't really put the contacts in, so I couldn't wear them for the third day, and then I had to start all over again with the 4 hours and 6 hours and 8 hours. But man, listen, that first day, this first 2 days, as soon as I woke up, I put them in, and as soon as I stayed awake as long as possible, just so I could see. Like, things you take advantage of and forget, little things, they mattered so much more. It's just phenomenal, and I'm really happy for her. So, for my doctor, she's phenomenal. If you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. This isn't a woe is me video. It's just I wanted you guys to know and understand how it affects reading. Like, it made it almost impossible to read a physical book. When I used to read, I would literally bend the book and hold it like this and squint, because that would give me the ability to see the page. And if it wasn't a book that I can bend, then I didn't read it. And I read on my ebook more often because I could blow up the print to what I needed to see. And I refused to read audiobooks because I refused to admit that I'm going blind. Like, it's still a thing. One, I really don't like the way the voices are on audiobooks, because I create the voices in my head. That doesn't sound crazy at all, but you know what I mean? Like, I create the way that they sound to me in my head. And hearing someone else, how they, are their voices melodic, or are they anxious, or are they excited, or are they bored, makes a difference. But it also is to me like admitting that it's bad. And I wasn't ready to admit that it was bad. I do have to learn Braille, though. It's one of the things I've told myself. I'm going to face my fears, and I'm going to learn, however you say it, Braille. I say Braille. I'm going to learn it just as a backup. Not that I want to. But if you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section. If you are trying to discover what's going on, leave it in the comment section. Whatever you want to say. If there are more questions you want. And yes, I know there are large print books, but they didn't go large enough for me. I'll leave pictures down below. Not pictures. Links down below to all the medical and science information, as well as other people who have keratoconus and what they're talking about, as well as the video on how to put keratoconus, the scleral contacts in. That's the one that's from Bausch & Lomb and the contact company. And that's it. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. You can find me Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.